Welcome, one and all, back to the Viper's Nest, where today we have a video of half lore video, half movie critique. So I think I mentioned it already that I'm watching through the Marvel Cinematic Universe with my kids in universal chronological order, meaning I started with Captain America, the First Avenger, and went chronologically from there. So, last night we got to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which, as much as I love this movie, and I do love this movie, I got some problems with it. I mean, one big problem, it's not really a problem because if they addressed this, then we wouldn't have had a movie, and that would be a damn shame. But, anyway, so, I guess we'll start off with talking about the movie itself and the movie critique. Then we'll move into a bit of lore, and then maybe I'll keep going and make absolutely sure you understand my problem with this movie. So, spoiler alert for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. They travel the multiverse. Shocker, right? But they end up on a planet, or a universe, not a planet. A universe where where Doctor Strange and America Chavez are captured by the Illuminati. And the Illuminati consists of Peggy Carter's Captain America, Rambo's version of Captain Marvel, Professor Xavier, played by Patrick Stewart, which is fucking awesome. He even has the yellow hover chair, Mr. Fantastic, and Black Bolt. And Wanda shows up, because Wanda's the villain of this movie, if you didn't know. She shows up and she absolutely demolishes the Illuminati. Now, herein lies the problem that I have with this movie. So, from a writing standpoint, I can understand why they did what they did. If you want to, like, a cheap and easy way to sell exactly how dangerous an antagonist is to put them up against a bunch of, like, really big-time, like, heroes or whatever, and then just have the villain completely mop the floor with those heroes. I mean, it's simple, and it very often works, but I really feel like they did the Illuminati dirty in this movie, because, I mean, look, I don't think that Scarlet Witch would have had much of a problem with, like, Captain America or Mr. Fantastic. Like, look, we all know that Mr. Fantastic's real superpower is that he is the fucking smartest person in the universe. His actual superpower, he's stretchy. Not gonna lie, it's kind of bottom tier, in my opinion. So, Scarlet Witch would not have had any kind of trouble with those two. I feel like she would have had, I know she would have had trouble against Professor X, Captain Marvel, and Black Bolt. So, I guess this is where we will turn to the quote-unquote lore section of the movie. If you watched Multiverse of Madness, which 100% you absolutely should, it's an amazing movie, you might be asking yourself, so who the hell is Black Bolt? And if you're asking yourself that question, that means you didn't watch the Marvel Inhumans TV series, which, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I really don't blame you on that one. It wasn't great. So, alright, I'll give you a little bit of a primer here. So, Black Bolt is king of the Inhumans. Who are the Inhumans? So, long-ass time ago, the Kree and the Skrull were at war, and the Kree were having some genetic problems, so they went to, like, prehistory Earth, found out that the populace there had been given genetic potential by the Celestials, which is a whole thing the Eternals go into. I'm not going to go into it here. But the Kree started doing genetic experiments on the humans to produce superpowered soldiers to help them fight off the Skrulls. That led to the birth of the Inhumans. Bada bing, bada boom. 50 bajillion years later, we now have the Inhumans as we know them today, ruled by their king Black Bolt, and they live on the moon in a city of Adelan. That's what I got for you. There's a whole hell of a lot more to that story. I suggest you go read the comics or, I don't know, look at a Wikipedia article or something like that. But that's what you need to know. So, Black Bolt, or Blackagar Boltagon, which, that is a fucking cool name. So I've been a fan of this guy for quite a long time. Ever since I played through Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 is where I first encountered both the Inhumans and Black Bolt. And I'm like, this Black Bolt guy seems pretty freaking awesome. So his whole thing, in addition to being basically Superman with like super speed, super strength, super durability, you know, all the superpower lottery powers you would want if you got superpowers. He has an incredibly destructive voice to the point where if he so much as whispers, he can like level half the city of Attilan. So Black Bolt had to undergo like extreme amounts of training to make sure that he does not make a freaking peep, like ever. Not when he's sleeping, not when he's awake, nothing. He will never utter a single sound because to do so would be to invite untold destruction wherever he happens to be at the time. Now, I can already hear some people asking, but what happens if he, like, coughs or sneezes? Well, for one thing, the amount of disciplinary training he has had ensures that he doesn't do these things. But even if he did, nothing would really happen, and here's why. So, Black Bolt's superpower is centered in the part of his brain that specifically controls voluntary speech. So even if somehow he did snort enough pepper to make himself sneeze, nothing would happen because such involuntary actions as coughing and sneezing are not tied to that particular part of the brain. So it's using that part of the brain, him willingly speaking and making noise, is what triggers his superpower. And what a superpower it is. So like I said, just even a whisper would level the city of Attilan, pretty much. But actually going in like full-on shouting, at least in the comics, like Black Bolt's sonic scream is one of the most powerful forces in the Marvel Universe. It has been stated that if he shouted at top volume, he could straight up shout holes in reality. Like, he could crack entire planets in half with the power of his voice. Like, Black Bolt is the guy that the Dragonborn in Skyrim fucking wishes he could be. And it's confirmed by basically everyone in Marvel that Black Bolt, as far as, like, non-reality warpers go, Black Bolt is hands down one of the absolute most powerful people in the Marvel Universe. Reality warpers aside. So, I really feel like they did Black Bolt dirty in the Multiverse of Madness. I mean, they did the whole Illuminati dirty, but they really did Black Bolt dirty. And that makes me sad, because I love this character. One of the, like... Alright, I will devil's advocate myself here for a minute. They did need to get somebody as powerful as Black Bolt out of the fight as soon as possible. I understand that. One of the few good things the Inhumans TV show did was that the writers of the show really understood exactly how powerful Black Bolt was. And I know that MCU Black Bolt is probably nowhere near as powerful as comics Black Bolt, but he's still very, very strong. Like, in the Inhumans TV series... the Inhumans come to Earth, Black Bolt's like kind of wandering around confused, and he gets into an altercation with some cops out on the streets. And one of the cops shoots a taser into Black Bolt's back. And, like, Black Bolt takes it like a fucking champ. Like, he doesn't fall down, he doesn't start, like, you know, convulsing or whatever, like a normal person would do when they were hit with a taser. But he does get pitched forward, and he attempts to contain a grunt of pain. And that single small grunt that escaped his lips, like, destroyed the entire street in front of him. It, like, sent cop cars flipping end over end. So, essentially, the writers did their absolute best to, like, always keep Black Bolt out of any combat in the show, because they knew full well that Black Bolt would just end the fight right then and there if he really wanted to. So, he's a really cool character, and he got done dirty in the Illuminati. So... therein lies my problem. It's like, I don't mind Scarlet Witch wiping out the Illuminati, because like I said, it's a cheap and easy way to sell how dangerous a villain really is. I just feel like the way in which she wiped out the Illuminati leaves a lot to be desired. So, the first casualty of the Illuminati massacre is I mean, not counting all the Ultron drones that Wanda tore her way through to get to the Illuminati, was Black Bolt himself. So, Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, the guy who they literally introduce as the smartest man in the world. All right, so let's just stop right there. All right, so you have Reed Richards, the smartest man in the world, plus other great minds like Black Bolt, Captain Marvel, Captain America, Professor X, Mordo. All right. So they are aware of the multiverse. They know there's other multiverses out there. They know who and what Wanda is. They're coming up against a literal reality warper, an unhinged one at that. And they just kind of shrug it off, be like, yeah, all right, no, that's cool. We're going to deal with that shit. It's like, so right off the bat, these people are not near as worried about this coming conflict as they fucking should be. All right, so back to confronting Wanda directly. Again, Reed Richards, the smartest man in the world, attempts to talk Wanda down. He introduces Black Bolt and says this: Black Bolt can destroy you with a single whisper from his mouth. Again, Reed Richards, the smartest man in the world, is confronting a known reality warper and says literally what Wanda needs to do to stop Black Bolt. You have the most dangerous gun in the universe, Black Bolt, and he essentially just handed it to Wanda and told her exactly how it works. Because Wanda then replied, "What mouth?" and just kind of erased Black Bolt's mouth. And then Black Bolt, as disciplined as he is, panic shouted and basically liquefied his own head, which, I mean, that's quite the fucking violent way to go, and I'll give the movie props for that, but, like, even in that extreme circumstance, as disciplined as Black Bolt was, I don't think he would have panic shouted and, blew out his own fucking head. Just, ugh. Okay, and then Wanda, erases Reed Richards, because what's he going to do at that point? Stretch at her? I mean, no offense to Reed Richards fans. I love the Fantastic Four, but really stretch powers is pretty fucking lame. I'm not going to lie. So then she goes after the rest of the Illuminati, and herein comes my second problem. Like, yeah, I already knew Captain America, even Peggy Carter's Captain America, who was much better trained than Steve's Captain America. She wasn't going to last long against Wanda. I mean, it's super soldier, a purely physical fighter against a reality warper. We all knew how that was going to go. And even Captain Marvel, cosmic-powered Captain Marvel, she was going to put up a bit of a better fight, but she also wouldn't have really lasted long against Scarlet Witch. Then we get to Professor Xavier. So, they have, essentially Wanda ambushes Professor X while he's, trying to commune with the Wanda that our Wanda was possessing, and just kind of kills him right then and there. So, Professor X is one of, if not the most powerful and well-trained telepaths in the universe, and Wanda, at the time of this movie, was pretty fucking unhinged and not all that in control of herself. So, I mean, I don't really think Professor X would have lost a psychic wrestling match to Wanda, even if she was, calm and in control, much less being the unhinged murder machine that she became in the movie. There's no way in hell Professor X would have lost a psychic wrestling match against that version of Scarlet Witch. It's fucking stupid. It's stupid. I'm sorry. I'm shitting on this movie that I actually really, really like. But just the way they did the Illuminati, I wish they would have done it better. I understand why they did what they did. You needed to sell Wanda as one of the most dangerous forces in existence. I get that. But at the same time, with the ease and the ways in which she wiped out the Illuminati, just not great, man. Not fucking great. But you know who she couldn't have defeated? The Pizza Papa. You know who I'm talking about, and you all know that the Pizza Papa carried this entire movie. Sure, he only had 2 scenes, and one of them was post-credits, but Bruce Campbell. So, just for funsies, just so I can stop shitting on this movie that I really, really loved, I'm going to present a really out-of-left theory for you, right? So, Okay, so a big part of this movie centers around a book called The Darkhold, which is also directly referred to as the Book of the Damned, which I don't think it's too much of a fucking stretch to compare that to the Necronomicon from the Evil Dead series. And I say this because Sam Raimi, who made Multiverse of Madness, also made the Evil Dead series, which I grew up watching and I fucking love to this day. So in all of Sam Raimi's movies, his bestest bro, Bruce Campbell, pretty much always gets a cameo, which, good, keep it up. I love Bruce Campbell. Any chance I can take to see more of Bruce Campbell, I'll fucking take it. So, during the events of Multiverse of Madness, they meet Bruce Campbell's character, the Pizza Papa, and Strange casts a bit of a spell on him to cause him to, punch himself in the face for like 3 weeks straight. It's fucking great. I love it. Bruce Campbell, absolute master of slapstick humor. So at the end of the movie, at the very end credits, the spell finally wears off. Bruce Campbell looks directly into the camera and says it's over. In addition to being the fact that him punching himself in the face was over, but also letting you know that, in fact, the movie was over. Here's my theory, right? So Bruce Campbell broke the fourth wall. He knows what's going on. I think that might have been a version of Bruce Campbell's character Ash from the Evil Dead series. I say this because not only was Bruce Campbell's cameo, is a silly gag, but he also did, in fact, give Doctor Strange some pretty good information on where to go, the Strange Museum and all that. Looks like he did it accidentally. I don't think he actually did. So here's my theory, right? I think that across the multiverse, there's the Darkhold, obviously, which is a multiverse equivalent to the Necronomicon, which is also a very powerful book of spells, which is normally found in the possession of Ash Williams from the Evil Dead universe. So I think, with no supporting evidence whatsoever, that the Pizza Papa was in fact a version of Ash who used the Necronomicon to get himself to where Stephen Strange was going, so he could get Stephen Strange the information he needed to move the plot along and eventually defeat the Scarlet Witch and destroy the Darkhold. There's my theory. Is it going to prove true? Probably fucking not. But you know what? There is precedent. There is precedent. You remember the whole Marvel Zombies run? I think everybody does. Did you know that there was a Marvel Zombies versus the Army of Darkness comic series? I do. Because I fucking have some of them. So it wouldn't be the first time that Bruce Campbell's Ash found himself in the main Marvel universe. Just saying. Think about it. Anyway, that's all I got for today. Thank you for listening. A like and a subscribe and a comment would be appreciated. I will see you next episode. And as always, have yourself a wonderful day.